Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Cocktails at the Tangiers. I'm your host, Craig Shacklett from URComped with the great one, the host whisperer, Nick Ippolito. Nick, welcome,
Hi,
sir.
Craig. Good to be back. I've chosen the Tangiers. It's actually the plaza downtown, as we all know. But, you know, it's that scene where he's standing in front of these lights during the movie Casino. So
Iconic scene.
Iconic. But I'm actually having fun with these. I'm going to change these. These might change during the interview.
Oh, great. Yeah, I know. I've got the Tangiers background as well. It would be,
I got to get that one next. Yeah, I got to get that one next.
You know, for our 5-year anniversary, we should actually watch the movie. You know,
Yes.
I don't know if you remember that show, Mystery Science Theater, where we're just
let's do that. Dude, that'd be great. That's at least it's different. You know, everybody's doing these video podcasts now, everybody. So we should think of something different to do.
Yeah. All right. So, you know, I want to ask you about this. I'm seeing more and more everybody, you know, I call you the host whisperer. A lot of people talk about, you know, think of you as a host player development, but you've been doing more and more customer service. And I think customer service is a broad term because it applies to every industry, right? I mean,
yes,
like Starbucks has customer service, you know,
great.
Best Buy has customer service. But what do you think is different about casino customer service?
So that's it. It's called casino customer service for a reason, and you nailed it. You know, that's it. Yeah, the core. You know, whether you have a pickle stand right on the corner or you have Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, the core of customer service is there, right? The core elements, the core fundamentals. And if you took classes online or you took regular customer service classes, there's some great ones out there. The core, the foundation is the same, of course, because we're human beings and we're interaction and there's retail and there's the customer experience. The reason why I called it casino customer service is because it's still player development to me. It's still customer development. And being a host for so many years and then being, you know, in player development for so many years, there's no way that our customers, that our players aren't touched by every department, right? And over the years, all we hear is, and casino hosts will chant to this, I'm sure, you know, it takes us so much to get a player in, right? It's so much time and phone calls and the right deal and the right free play and get them away from the competitor, which the competitor's, you know, 3 miles away, you know, at sometimes, and giving them more custom and giving them more free play, right? So over the years, I finally book a player and I finally get the player to come in, only to find out, you know, the security guard at the front door bothered him, right? Or gave him a bad experience. And then as he walked through the casino, the server gave him a bad experience. The Players Club gave him a bad experience. Then he sits down to our beautiful gourmet steakhouse. Bad experience, right? So I started interjecting these things in my player development training, and it turned into casino customer service, right? It turned into this big program. And then the main thing that happened was why I really like it, and I really like calling it casino customer service, is years ago when I did one in California at the Hollywood Park Casino. It's a card room, real tough area too. But when I was talking about customer service and interjecting the player development, after the class, like the dealers and the host they all left. They got it, right? But the non-gaming employees were lined up to talk to me. And I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on, right? And security guards were like, what's a player? What's a theoretical? What's the player's card? What's the discount? What? And I'm like, oh my God, dishwashers, security guards, servers, they don't understand what we take for granted, like we know every day in gaming, right? So it turned into this also explaining to dishwashers and servers and security officers what player development is all about and what the hosts are doing and how hard it is to get this player in. And you, Mr. Security Guard, right? You're ticking him off. He's one of our best players. You know, he's one of our top players. And you're not giving him the experience that he deserves or that we promise as in player development. Like when a host calls a player, right? We promise that experience is going to be positive. So it just again, a lot like my player development, it just grew organically, and it keeps growing. I just got 2 more the other day, inquiries. So it just keeps growing organically.
Aside from it just being casino customer service, you're training security guards, things like, is there anything that I think is unique to like serving casino customers versus serving a retail customer? Like,
well, so I mean, except for the interjection and the education of player development and how important these players are, and then the segue off our last podcast we had to educate them on that top tier, right? And this is, man, I'm educating leaders, GMs, CEOs. I mean, this is an important piece. If you're going to have that top tier, what good is it if only the host knows I'm top tier? If only my mailer knows I'm a top tier, right? So there's 100 things we can do. And last time we spoke about pulling the host away from the top tier players, right? In so many words, that's not exactly what we talked about, but they'd rather have so many more things than a host anyway. A 89 ADT who comes every day doesn't get to talk to a host anyway. The host ain't speaking to him anyway, right? So there's hundreds of more things that we can do when you have that top tier, and it goes beyond the player development is already doing it. They already get it, right? A host already gets it. So it's what Henry Paisano always talks about. Everybody, Paul Mullo too, everybody's a host. Everybody's in PD. Your security guard should be a PD executive, right? Your job is customer service. Everything else is a skill, right? Everything else, dealing is a skill. Making drinks is a skill. Standing there as a security officer is a skill. Arresting somebody or reading their right, whatever they do. Not arresting somebody. Those are protocol calls and those are skills, but your job is customer service. There's too much competition with the gambler right now. The other thing that's unique, and I just thought of a great thing, so thanks for asking the question. The most unique thing is when the gambler is in Starbucks, Craig, when my high roller's in Starbucks, he's just a Starbucks customer. When he is in the casino, he is in full gambler mode. And if you don't know the psychology of a gambler, this means the things they are saying to you while they're on the slot machine, or the things they are saying to you while they're at the rewards club, the things they are saying to you while they're on the casino floor, they don't say those things in Starbucks. They sit quietly and go, oh, I can't get my coffee. But in the casino, right, they just lost $500. And they demand that coffee quicker, and so that is a big piece to understand the psychology of a gambler, what they're doing there, why they're there, why they say the things they say, why they complain about the things they complain about, and most important, I teach security officers and dishwashers and servers the tics, right, the paranoid. And the things that the paranoid personality of and suspicious personality of a gambler, and the things that you can say that can trigger that paranoid and that suspicion, and that doesn't happen in any other. When that same gambler is in Starbucks, that doesn't happen. But when they're in the casino, they're right. There's that mentality that they're gambling. They're in it. They're a totally different person. So to teach a valet guy, I just taught a valet guy because he said, well, I see this woman all the time. She comes out and she's always, oh, I can't win. And I gave him some special sauce, as Craig says, and he loves it. He got it. I said, because you're not saying the right thing to a gambler. You're saying the right thing if you were a barista at Starbucks, but you're not saying the right thing to a gambler waiting for their car out at valet.
Yeah, I think that's great, because if you're not trained in it, it's awkward. Somebody like, hey, how's your day, sir?
Yeah.
Well, I just lost $2,000. Like,
yeah. How do you think my day is? Right. How do you think my day is? Right.
Yeah. And I'm thinking back to when I was frontline customer service at Harrah's a long time ago. Harrah's Lake Tahoe, and a couple things stood out. One, I think they were really ahead of their time. I mean, Harrah's then became Caesars, of course, but
yeah.
I always think of Harrah's because I was there before they transitioned. But they had security guards that had customer service scores. Like they got secret shopped, and how helpful were they? So I think they were ahead of their time, making sure that their guards were friendly, just like everybody else. But two, gamblers can just be weird, right? And in this, I remember working the total rewards booth and the players card booth, and somebody came up and was like, "Hey, I need 2 gold cards and 1 diamond card." And I thought, because a lot of times people come up, "Hey, yeah, just print a couple 7 stars cards for me," which is the top tier. They're really gold. And this guy came up and asked for 2, and I was like, "All right, I'll get you 2 gold cards." And then I look up the guy's system, and sure enough, he was a diamond player, which was almost the top tier. And the guy got so offended that I didn't take him seriously at first. Right. And it's just like, I shouldn't say gamblers can be weird. Every customer can be weird, but I guess we may accept it in the gambling industry more.
No, you're saying it right. Not weird, but you're saying it. There is a psychology. It's an addictive personality, right? It's an addiction. Let's not lie about it, okay? And they're losing money. So again, I can't stress enough. With that same guy is in the bank. That same guy is in Starbucks. That same guy, he's a different animal when he's underneath that roof in that casino.
Mm-hmm. And he got so offended because I laughed back. Because I had had that question 100 times from real gold people that just want an extra card. So I'm like, all right, here's another one. But sure enough, he had that diamond card, and he like stormed out the building. I felt terrible. I was calling him, like apologizing. Yeah. And it's just, you just have to be prepared for that, because on that spectrum of gamblers, there's going to be at that far end some really quirky, weird activity. And
Did you ever figure out why he wanted that? Did you ever figure out?
That's the boss, like the head of whatever was like, he wants to be kind of incognito until he needs that gold card get access to the Diamond Lounge or whatever.
See, that would never happen anywhere else. How about there's been I've had some big Asian slot players and some regular Asian and some regular domestic slot players that the top card is black. We know these casinos, right? Their top card is black.
Yeah, like Noir.
Okay, bad luck.
Yeah. Wow.
Black is death. In domestic and Asian, black is death. So I've had to change cards for Asian players, or the number. I printed a card, gave it to the Asian guy. He looked at it, he goes, "Make me a new card, make me a new account." We had to delete that account and make him the next numbers, because they were unlucky numbers for him or for the culture, but they were unlucky numbers. So this doesn't happen anywhere but under the roof of a casino.
Wow. Well, I know we're just scratching the surface on what you're doing with casino customer service, because I just see like more and more with your updates on where you're going. So
yeah,
I'm excited to have more of these conversations in the Tangiers about kind of the niches and the little specialties that you're doing with casino customers. There you are, back in the Tangiers.
Back in the Tangiers mode.
Well,
in fact, I did customer service here. I'm representing Fort Belknap in Montana today. I was there last year. I did customer service over there in Montana at Fort Belknap.
Nice. Yeah, I know you're heading up to Seven Feathers, which
I'm on my way to Seven Feathers today. But there's a wind advisory. I don't know if you can hear the tree smashing against my kitchen window, but there's a really bad wind advisory. I hope I get out there today. Otherwise, I'll have to move it tomorrow. But I'm going to be at Seven Feathers for quite a while, too, helping them out with their PD. So,
well, they got a great team out there. They're Trio customers, soon to be URComped customers as well. Love the team out there. So enjoy.
Hey, I hear good things, and you already told me good things about the host team.
Nah, super sharp, super friendly. You guys, you're gonna have a blast.
I'm excited.
All right, Nick. Well, until next time.
Till next time.
Cocktails at the Tangiers.